Welcome to Spa Marketing Made Easy, a podcast for spa owners who want to step up their leadership and business skills and step into the role as spa CEO. I'm your host, Daniela Warner, CEO of Atto Aesthetics and founder of the Growth Factor Framework program, where we teach, coach, and guide spa owners in scaling their spas to the next level of growth and unlocking freedom in their life and their business. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's dive into the show. I hope you are ready for a really fun episode today. I have Dr. Sheila Barbarino on the show, and I actually brought her on to chat about social media. And trust me, you absolutely want to follow her over on Instagram. We've got the links below the show. But this woman is everywhere in the aesthetic space. I am always seeing her speaking at conferences and finding out she's on different advisory boards. And she has two very successful practices in two different states. And with all of that, she is also heavily involved in her own social media production. So yes, I brought her on to talk about the creativity, the inspirational social media platform that she has created. But our conversation went into a variety of topics. It was honestly one of the most fun and refreshing interviews that I've done in a while. So I'm just going to lead with that. Let me just do a quick read of her bio and then we can jump right in. So Dr. Barbarino is a world-renowned, award-winning, board-certified oculofacial plastics and full body cosmetic surgeon. She's best known for her comprehensive natural results approach to both non-surgical and surgical procedures for all body and skin types. Additionally, Dr. Barbarino is known within the aesthetics industry for her extensive artful expertise and mastery of non-surgical modalities with fillers, threads, and laser technology to help patients achieve pleasing, natural-looking facial and body rejuvenation. She's a world-renowned lecturer, teacher, and trainer at medical symposiums who focuses on cutting-edge technology and new innovative techniques. She's an exceptionally sought-after key opinion leader in our industry and serves on multiple advisory boards, published author of over 15 peer-reviewed publications, and a busy surgeon with patients who travel from near and far for her expert opinion. She is definitely an incredible woman. She's obviously so accomplished and yet so down to earth. I really, really enjoyed this interview and I hope you do too. All right, Dr. Barbarino, let's get the party started.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay. You are, I do have to say, you're probably one of my favorite doctors that I've ever met. You have such a fun energy and you don't have that, sometimes you meet doctors that are really good and really talented, but they just don't have that bedside manner. They don't have the fun aspect to them. And you are really talented and really good at what you do. You're smart. I've heard you talk a few times at different conferences. But you're fun and real and a mom and all of that too, kind of wrapped into one. So, and I think that, as we go through this conversation today, people are going to see that as well. And it's just really, it's refreshing, honestly.
Thank you. That's so nice. I'm like, I feel like we really connected when we met years ago. And I'm so happy that we're doing the podcast. Your podcast has been amazing. I love it. All my friends love it. All my colleagues love it. And, I continue to watch, and I'm so honored to be part of the podcast today.
Oh, thank you for that. So I want to talk about your social media, and I want to talk about, because it's a thing. Like,
I love it.
I personally,
I work really hard at
it. Okay. So like, for those of you watching, listening right now, you need to just stop, go to her Instagram. What is your Instagram?
Barbarino Surgical Arts. And it's so funny because this is the worst mnemonic that you could ever come up with, but it really does work. It's BAR, like you're going to the bar for a beer twice. INO, Surgical Arts. Because people are always like it's BAR, like you're going to the bar for a beer. BAR again, INO, Surgical Arts. And I would appreciate you guys to follow me. That would be awesome.
We're going to link it up under here. But when you go there, scroll down a little bit and look for the hula hoop one.
My God.
I was
Isn't
like,
that
you're a
so
woman of
funny?
many talents.
I'm one of those people that looks like, give me a challenge and I'm like, could I do that? And I'm like, whoa, I don't, and then I'm like,
It's
maybe.
like a push-up hula hoop. You're like standing in an injector chair, like leaning on the cabinet, hula hooping. And what I love about, I mean, your social, when you go to it, social's supposed to be entertaining, engaging. It's supposed to communicate your brand values and kind of the personality that someone is coming into. And also, like, you are a plastic surgeon, right? You're doing surgical things, which is scary for a lot of
I'm not
people.
hula hooping when I do that, but yes. Yes, I operate every single week. And, I think, like you said, it's a creative, fun outlet for me. Like I said, that particular hula hoop one, I'm scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, I'm not sure, for like 2 seconds. And I'm like, oh my God, is that guy? I mean, how does he, oh my God, how does he do that? Like he's hula hooping and like washing his sink at the same time or something like that. And I'm like, can I do that? And I'm like, oh, I
Yes,
need
I
to
can.
try it. And let's get it on film and see what happens.
But I think that, like, going into surgery can be scary for somebody, right? There's the anticipation. Is this really something that I want to do? Is this really, am I going to look the way I want to look? And so just initially doing the research and finding you and seeing, like, she's fun, she's approachable, she's joy filled, there's all of these different pieces that you can see from your brand that you show through social media, which is really, I mean, the purpose of it. So,
It's funny, my surgical personality is a little different in real life. And my patients and my staff say that when I'm in my surgical mode, I'm very different, and not in the sense that I'm not jovial or happy or fun, but I am a more serious doctor when you come see me as a patient or whatnot, or if we're talking about something serious, right? But it doesn't mean, and I feel like as a woman, they always want to like stereotype you, right? Like you're either serious or you're not serious, or you're funny or and unserious. I feel like you get very boxed in. It's like, why can't you be both? Because some people are.
well, I mean, I say that about our industry all the time when people are looking at, if someone says, I want to go to beauty school, um, there's this belief that you can't be smart and pretty.
Yes.
And I saw that my husband went to MIT, which is a really prestigious engineering school. And there
Yes.
were some really great, super intelligent women that were there. I started a health and beauty club when I was there to talk about skincare and all of this stuff when Kyle was studying there and I was living there with him.
You're amazing.
And
You're like, let me start a beauty club. Like,
well, and you know what? They came. It was like we met in once a month, and they were asking questions about pH of skincare and all this stuff. And I was like, this is so different than like what other people, like if I were to start a beauty group somewhere else, the first question wouldn't be, well, tell me about the pH of cleansers and how does that
right.
work?
Right. You'd be like, are we getting free things? Like, what color is that lip gloss? And I think it's so wonderful that you bring that intelligence and the wit and you are an experienced person in the aesthetic and beauty field, and you bring that expertise to, people that just want to be part of a beauty club and really enjoy,
But the
understanding all of it.
The piece, though, that I really wanted to hammer in aligns exactly with what you said, is that a lot of these women, some of the arguably the most intelligent group of people in the
Yeah,
world academically, right?
for sure.
They are worried that if they look feminine and look pretty, they're not going to be taken seriously in their career. And
100%.
that is a belief that a lot of the computer scientists or engineering women feel that they can't be smart and pretty because they won't be taken seriously. And that was, I think, kind of being that's what you were feeling too, is like,
In
hey,
residency
I'm an
and
intelligent
fellowship, yeah, I really felt
doctor,
that way. Yes.
and it's like, you can be intelligent and accomplished, and you can be pretty and fun, and you can be all the things, right? We are very
Yes.
dynamic as women.
Yes. And I think that you're right, that that's still a stereotype today, right? And it's something that we all need to fight against and prove them wrong. I mean, every day we
And it
prove
doesn't mean that you can't it's your definition of beauty. How do
yes.
you feel the best? Whether you don't wanna wear makeup and are not interested in aesthetic services, or if you wanna have, you know, everything under the sun. It's like, how do you feel your best?
Yes.
That is how we need to honor women to express themselves.
And going back to how you were saying you spent the, summer in Spain and Germany outside the United States, I feel like that is how the international mentality is. It's like, it's my life. I'm going to live however the hell I want. And, I don't care what anybody thinks. And I feel like that's something that isn't in the United States the way it should be, right? I feel like it's so
We're still trying to keep up with the Joneses a lot here.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know,
Yeah.
we definitely are, but I also noticed that, and I met with, one of the founders of a software company that's big in Europe, that's like a spa booking software, and what he was sharing with me is that the rest of the like, the European market looks to the United States as what's next and what's big, and I always kind of when I was in aesthetic school, it was always like, "Oh, the Europeans know how to do skin better." So we kinda have this, like, back and forth,
Yes. Like, or it's jealous of like what the other person has, right?
right? And then when I was in Hawaii, it was like, "Oh, well, the Koreans are the ones that know everything." It
Ah,
was like it
that's
starts
exactly
there.
right. The Koreans do lead us in beauty and lots of other things, but yes, so do many other countries. Exactly. Well, you know what it is? It's always the grass is greener, right? It's like we love what we have, but oh wait, over there they might have better things. And I believe actually in aesthetics we do lag behind because of the FDA. There are a lot of fads and trends that come and go outside in other countries that die quickly and forever, but there's a lot of things going on that are very revolutionary in aesthetics outside the United States that we just haven't incorporated it and haven't gone through the FDA process yet, that is very exciting.
And I think that, I mean, from what I understand, we have a lot of, Canadian clients and listeners as well, and it's still significantly easier in the US than it is to get things through Health Canada. I mean,
Yeah, isn't
Health
it?
Canada is really challenging to get.
I wonder why that is. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure. I've heard that from my colleagues as well. They're like, "Well, you guys have this. You guys." I was sitting with Dr. Jennifer Perlman, who's out of, I believe, Montreal. She's a good friend. I should know exactly where in Canada she is, but I love you, Jen. But she, we were talking about she's a huge functional and regenerative medicine doctor, and she was talking about how outside the United States, in Canada, they're not allowed to use PDO threads, but they are allowed to use
Really?
PCL. Mm-hmm.
Why
And
not PDO? I thought that that's what they used as, like, the dissolvable
yes,
stitches to begin
yes,
with.
and PCL is the longer version kind of that. It is a different material, but it's kind of like, do you do a PCL thread or a PDO thread? And oftentimes when you want it longer lasting, you'd go with the PCL. And yeah, PDOs, apparently they're not allowed to use them there. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. But they also have kind of an easier, I mean, this is a whole nother episode, but they don't really have a distinction between what we consider day spa aesthetics and like medical spa aesthetics. So
Yeah.
there's kind of all
Relax in
different.
one area and strengthen it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's get back to your social.
Yes.
And
Let's talk about it.
so when you started, how long have you had this? I know you had a practice in California. You maybe still do have that one, but
Yes, yes. I
okay.
go once a month and see patients. I love it. I get to see all my patients that I've known for, 15, 20 plus years. I'm from California and I'm from that area. So it's kind of going home and seeing my friends from high school, college,
Mm.
junior high, and and their mothers that I've taken care of all these years. And so it's, and then I have my A, B, C, D, E celebrities that come in that I love, and I'll take care of until we get old and die together. And we'll look really good at that point still.
So when you moved to Texas,
Yep.
what was the kind of strategy or thought process in your marketing with social media having the two different practices?
So it was interesting. So the reason why I moved here was not, and I've talked to other providers that have now. When I first did this, there wasn't many providers that had two practices in two different states. They had
Yeah.
multiple practices, but not in two different states. They had to get on a plane and fly to. Now it's more common, especially post-COVID. But when I did that, that was pre-COVID, and it was not a thing. And my husband moved his businesses here to Austin, Texas, and I was like, oh my God, like, how does this work? Like, and he's like, oh, we'll open a practice there and you'll go back and forth. And I was like, God, that sounds like a crazy way to live, but it's actually worked out in a great way. I have two different kind of populations of aesthetic patients to work with. And to me, it really makes it more interesting and more fun. At the end of the day, with the social media, I think the social media really started with COVID. I think that I wrote all the papers I could possibly write in that like 6-week period and worked from home as much as I could. And that's when I was like, you know what, let me, and I really was dying for that social contact. And that's when I really started to ramp up my social media game. And I think I've tried hiring people. I've tried, different, people say, everyone has an opinion about social media, their strategy and whatever. At the end of the day, and I do have a guy that like helps me clip and everything. At the end of the day, I create and help build the content because I think that that's what resonates well with the people who follow me, and what resonates well with me in my heart is, what I'm thinking about. It's like all of us wake up in the morning and we're like, oh, I saw that thread this weekend, or that machine that weekend, this weekend at the conference. What do I really think about that? What do I, and you're talking about it with your colleagues and you're like, I should talk about this with people on my social media. There's something that we all kind of want to talk about with other people. And because I work all the time, I think this is a wonderful way to connect with people and not have to take time out of my day to have happy hour, even though I'd rather go to happy hour. And I can come home and, have dinner with my son and, provide great care for my patients. So it's like, I find it to be so fun and nice to talk to my colleagues. And if it makes them smile or laugh at my expense, like have at it, because we all need to laugh more. And I think we all need to connect more. And I think we all need to, make fun of ourselves more. I think all of us have gotten into this like serious society that like, we take ourselves so seriously that we can't, see beyond anything. And I think it makes people angry. And I think they have pent up anger. And, I think that we've seen it in many ways. We have an aggressive society. Why? Because I think that they don't feel supported or connected, or they feel like they can't vent,
So it's interesting. A couple of things came up for me while you were saying that. And number one is, you're the physician, you're the owner of two practices, right? And a lot of times CEOs will say, when we look at like E-Myth or these different books that are talking about the entrepreneur, the manager, the technician, what are the $1,000 an hour jobs, $100 an hour jobs, $10 an hour jobs, and how should you be doing the things that only you can do to maximize efficiency? And oftentimes social media falls to the manager or to the social media manager or something along those lines. But it seems to feel very strongly that that's the greatest way, for you to connect and share your opinion, where others might say, you're the doctor, you should just be seeing patients or doing these high level things. So do you feel that, I mean, it's obviously important to be in integrity with your beliefs and all of that, Do you feel that that has made a difference in the connection or the conversations that you're having or I mean, ultimately we want people to laugh and we want people to be entertained, but we also want to get new patients into our practice, right? Like we're not running charities here. We're running businesses.
No, I think that it helps with two things. I think that it shows my true personality. So when they come in for a consult, um, a lot of the people have already decided that you're my doctor. Like I want you to treat me. I want you to tell me real because I'm really real. And if you come in to my practice, like a lot of people when they come in, they want to hear what you have to say, right? They're coming to you for your expertise, right? And I hear a lot of my colleagues when they talk about the art of the consultation and whatnot, they say, I always compliment them on one thing, that of their facial features. I feel like that's to have like a role like that is very unauthentic, right? So I think when patients come to see me, they don't want me to sideline them and say like, oh, that's not really your problem. It's to really connect and really hear what they have to say and then take them through I like to call it a Barbarino buffet of kind of what would make them look more well rested, more refreshed, what will make them look less tired, more like how they want to look. And so I kind of go through a whole treatment plan because I want to be their doctor today, tomorrow, next year, and the next 20 years, right? Whether we do anything that day or next week or the next year, I like to have a treatment plan. And so I think that that's one thing that I really stress during a consultation. And I think that that personality kind of comes through on I mean, and you know just as much as I do, how many times have you gone into a room that people are like, oh my God, I know you because
Yeah.
I've watched your podcast and I've seen you on social media and all these things, right? People are always like, when they watch you talk to other people, they feel closer to you and they feel like
There's a trust. I mean, when we launched the podcast, it did take a little while to take off initially because podcasts, I mean, there's so many podcasts out there. But once it started taking off, we noticed, yes, like there was a summer that I went to Japan and I had someone come up to me at a conference, be like, how was Japan? And I was like so thrown off because I was like, wait, who are you again?
yeah.
And
How do you know I was in Japan? Yeah.
yeah. And then she listened and I had just launched the podcast maybe like a year ago or something at this point. And so it really was such a powerful thing. Like, wow, people are actually, because right now I'm alone in my office talking to you on a computer screen, but
Yeah.
there are thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that will listen to this episode. And so they're going to hear our conversation like a fly on the wall. Right. And
Yeah.
that's such a hard thing to comprehend and
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it did like from a business standpoint, our refund rate went way to almost zero.
yeah.
There were so many things that happened because people understood, your brand is supposed to attract or repel. And when someone can get to know who you are and what you're about, and if they align with the brand or not through a podcast, through social media or whatnot, then you're getting the right clients to you.
Right. If you feel like you know somebody already before you even talk to them, or even when they come in for a consultation, it's like you've already won them over, right? They're there because they liked what you had to say and they already, like I said, I feel like I go to a meeting all the time, every month. And, there'll be people that come up to me, give me a big hug. And like I said, my child likes to pop up on my social media every once in a while. And they're like, oh my God, how's your son? But, and it's, you feel like you know them too, so it's like,
There's a point of connection. Yeah,
yeah,
there's something that you have in common that you can talk about that doesn't make the like small talk conversation awkward.
right, right. And they
Yeah.
feel like they already know you, and it's a wonderful thing. And, I never thought that the social media would ever really, take traction or anything like that. And I think it's so funny that people do like it. And I'm always so honored when people say that, because it's just, it is kind of a fun labor of love. Like all of a sudden I'll wake up one morning and I'll be like, you know what we have to talk about? We have to talk about this. This is so crazy. Like we have to talk about this. Right. And, instead of texting all my friends or calling, people or waking my husband up, it's like, I can go on social media and talk to them, and it's just, it's your tribe, it's your people.
So when you guys go and look at Dr. Barbarino's social media, you're going to see she has like choreographed dances, costumes, and it all ties in. You did one with Britney Spears' Toxic song, and then it was like talking about toxins or so. I mean, it was like, it's so creative
toxic,
how
right?
it
Like, doesn't everybody want to know if toxins are actually toxic to your body, right? Because people are like, I don't want to put something foreign in my body that could be toxic. And it literally is called a neurotoxin, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean to the layman who didn't go to medical school, who just wants maybe a little relaxation in these 4 headlines, right? So we thought we'd take a fun spin on that because
all of them are like that. All of them, there's this creative piece where everything comes together. So when you get these ideas, are you and your team like storyboarding, or are you just kind of do you have like dance practice? Like, how is this?
So, okay, I'm going to tell you, and I'll give you, so by the time when is this podcast going to air? Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm going to give you, so I'll tell you how, so I plan out 4 hours a month. That's it. 2 hours a week. And what we do is we come together. The girls are my reps, my friends, my worker, like everybody who wants to be a part of it can show up. They know what time it is. And then I'll either come up with some ideas before my guy, Cameron, who clips it, can, we'll send each other, memes or something funny, leading up to it. And then we kind of like storyboard it. So yesterday we were like, everybody needs to learn the Thriller dance. And of course, like nobody learned it because we were all so busy.
I just know like this part. You just go like this.
And everyone's like, oh, well, it's like the 13 going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner. And I'm like, I remember the movie, but I don't remember her doing the dance, but I'm sure it was, and we came in and I'm like, well, we've got the costumes, we've got to do it, And so we were trying to, figure out what the theme line was. And we were like, well, gosh, let's talk about how like people are scared to come into a plastic surgery office. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's like the fear of having a needle stuck in you, the fear of getting stabbed with a needle, and, we also have Pronox or Nitronox, and, when you go, if you've ever had it, it just kind of makes everything fun and foggy for, about 5 or 10 minutes. And then when you stop breathing it, so we thought it would be funny to kind of do a take on that. And then all of a sudden, I'm a zombie and Michael Jackson and all the girls are too. And so that's kind of how we, it's like the thrill of getting something done, but yet, the fear of having something done is scary too. So that's, like I said, it's kind of easy when you, kind of have like with Sheena Bay, when we did Remember the Time. And he was like, what are we going to do? Like, it's, I can't think of what we should do. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are like, he's lean and sexy and adorable. And I'm like, you are Michael Jackson and we are your like side dancers. And all I could think about is Remember the Time. Remember that, if you know the video with Eddie Murphy and Amon, the model.
Yeah.
Yes. And basically the storyline is that Michael Jackson is like the thwarted lover that used to be Amon's. And then she ended up marrying the Pharaoh. Right. And I was like, what I was thinking about was the patients or Jennifer Lopez and all these celebrities that are like, oh, it was just the olive oil. Oh, it was just, it was the good vacation. Oh, I rubbed
riding horses. I think Martha Stewart said that she rides horses. Remember when she was on the cover of Sports
Yes,
Illustrated?
yes. There's no way, right? And I remember one of my celebrity friends, and she's like, I did an interview, and it's going to hurt your feelings. It's really going to hurt your feelings because they asked me, what have I been doing? And I said, I've been drinking lots of water, and because I can't bring myself to say that I've had injectables done. And she's this wonderful celebrity that, of course, her secret is safe with me. But I was like, my feelings are a little hurt. And she's like, please don't. Like, you are my secret, secret sauce. You're my secret potion. I would not look at half as good if I was just drinking water. Like,
we said that, I mean, when I was working, I started my career in Maui. And so many, I worked at a practice called MediSpa Maui with Dr. Sully and Dr. Martin. And so many of the people there, they would come in and they would say, I'm never doing injectables. I'm not going to do Botox and fillers. That is just not me. I'm natural. I'm whatever.
Right.
And by the time they finished their consultation, they were, 3 syringes, 4 syringes. They were all of it on board once they have the proper education. But I'm like, look, people, it is not the Maui sun that is and the Maui lifestyle that's making
it's not the pineapple. It's not macadamia nuts. Right.
It's half the island is coming to see us. That's what's happening.
So I thought it'd be funny to make it kind of a meme of that. This is how we feel when you blame, the olive oil and not us. So, and like I said, it's just, it's kind of a take on real life of how the things that we struggle with each day. Right. And, I don't blame this, actress to say that, but it's like, of course it's like, no, it's not, it's me, but okay. I will
for someone that is in the public eye, they may not want to be the person that, because people do have strong feelings about it. And, one way or the other, I always tell people everything that I've done, because I think it's important to say, like, I'm 43. Like, I've been getting injections since I was.
And you look amazing. You look like you're
29, and if I didn't want to get them, that's okay too. But it's like, it shouldn't be this, this thing. But for someone in the public eye that is going to get a lot of judgment and all of that, then I would say, and I'm sure you did, she can have a free pass.
Yes.
She can have a free pass.
Like, fine. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. It's always hard to like, people are like, oh, do you do treatments? And I'm like, yes, every day I do all the things. I drink the Kool-Aid, I sell the Kool-Aid. And then people are like, why don't you put like, sometimes staff's like, oh, why don't you film it while you're injecting yourself or while you're doing your treatment on yourself or whatever or someone's doing it on whatever the case is. And I'm like, patients and people don't need to see that. I've seen a lot of and I'm not judging at all, but to me, I think that, part of the treatment is, coming in and getting the treatment, and it's like, they can see the before and after pictures. They don't have to see the process. A lot of people, especially on social media, they don't want to see blood. They don't want to see needles. They don't want to see, anybody wincing. And, at the end of the day, like, I honestly have tried as much as I can to not treat myself as much as possible, and have, other people, because I feel like people are, especially in my industry, starting to look distorted, and I don't want to go there, and so I think that, to sit back and have an objective opinion, second opinion is always good. So,
and the overall experience is also different. I dermaplane myself at home, and it's like this quick task. But then like, it's more of like I'm going to receive when I actually go in and get a treatment. That's and right. Allow somebody else to be in charge, allow somebody else to, take the wheel. That's an important part of understanding what it is that we do, is being able to receive.
Yes, that's actually a wonderful point. I mean, I have to tell you that every time I talk to you, I always get these little pearls, and it always inspires me in a different way. And I love that. I think I love having the girl talk. I think I just went to a like I said, 2 meetings this weekend, and it was so nice. We went to happy hour. We had like, I kind of texted all my friends and just happened to be at girls happy hour. And, I saw this like meme that I reposted, and it was like, sit at the table with, the girls that are talking about money and finances and, how they get more things done in a short day. And not the table that's talking about other people. Right.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I'm like, we're all, drinking our 5 o'clock, cocktail, and we're talking about, what's inspiring, the estrogen cream on the face, and how we really feel about it, and does it work, does it not, and should we be doing it, should we not, and all of these things. And it's like, instead of, I feel like it's so easy to go down a negative path in discussion. And I think that when you're inspired by those people, you should talk to them and, connect with them more often, because every day you want to be the better version of yourself. And I think that, now I have a couple pearls from you that I'm like going to be a better version of Dr. Barbarino, today and moving forward, because you've given me mom pearls, you've given me aesthetic pearls. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I think that we have a choice every day of how we want to show up and how we want to live our life. And I think that women in general are incredible human beings, like incredible. I'm so impressed when I see the work and the momming and the, showing up in sisterhood and all of these things of what these incredible women are able to do. And one of my favorite quotes is from Bill Nye the Science Guy that says, every single person you meet knows something that you don't.
I love
And
that.
so like approaching all conversations with curiosity and with openness, learning different perspectives. That's how I want to approach life.
Yeah.
You
Who
get
does
so
that?
much more out of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many times that, I meet somebody, and, I have my friend, and, I have acquaintances, and they dismiss people. And I'm like, I think that you shouldn't dismiss anybody.
No.
Like you said, everybody has something to add. And, you never know, people always say like, never, what is it? Every death may be somebody's brother. So like, but I feel like it's less advantageous than that. Like, I don't think that I'm being nice to somebody because someday they'll help me out. I think I'm being nice to someone because they might offer me something that might, like something they said, a mannerism that they did that inspires me to do something different. I mean, there's so many times that I've gone to a lecture that I didn't think I would get anything out of. And then all of a sudden I'm like, that makes me think, even if I thought it was wrong, even though I didn't agree with it, I'm like, I should write a paper saying this,
Yeah. Gives you a
And-
different perspective.
yeah. And that is what life's all about. Like you said, it's like, if you don't find that part of life fun, then what are we doing? Right.
So I think we covered social media. We covered
Do it. So
moms. We covered all this.
people always belabor social media. One thing that the biggest advice that anyone, that I tell everybody is that just everyone's like, oh, is it good enough? Am I doing it the right way? The biggest thing, pearls, that I like to say is like, just do it. Who cares? I've bombed before. There's,
Oh, you got the Zoom.
it gave me thumbs up.
Yes.
How does
You
it
said I've bombed before and it was saying, it's okay. That's awesome. Keep going.
I like the encouragement. Thank you, Zoom. So, I mean, I've taken posts down when I guess I didn't think that they were right. I'll tell you my biggest one that's really funny. So, Michael B. Jordan, he's like, the actor. He was, the last Rocky. His mom. I know him and his mom, through social means in LA, and they are so lovely and so fun. And Michael B. Jordan got Sexiest Man Alive on People magazine a couple years ago. And I wanted to personally give him a shout out because I have pictures with him and I love him. And I wanted to show like the support and the love. Cause I think he was like, he was excited about it, but he was like, oh my God, this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't think of myself as sex. I mean, who wakes up and is like, I'm the sexiest man alive. Right. And, I was, going quickly and, as all of us do, and we're always multitasking like we always do. And I wrote hashtag sexiest man alive. Cause if you think about sexiest, I just forgot one I and it turned into sexist man. And I'm like, oh my God, he's totally not. And, I think it was like Heidi Waldorf from New York that like texted me and she's like, hey, I just saw your post and I think you meant sexy. And she like capitalized the I. And I'm like, and I went back and like, redid the post. Cause at the time, I think they didn't have the feature that you could go back and change the whole post. And now they've, thank God, changed that. So, but I changed it back.
I mean, that's the perfect example though, too, of why you shouldn't take things so seriously, because you did that. That's an honest mistake for someone that you value and respect and consider a friend. And there's so many things that can happen where people are saying, oh my gosh, they hate me. They don't think, and it's like really just a typo,
Yeah.
and it's like a typo because someone was super busy. And so really like not taking everything so seriously and
Don't beat yourself
understanding
up.
that so much gets lost in translation in text, and just to honor your own, whatever your own boundaries are. Like if you're concerned with social or oversharing or judgment or whatever, just decide these are the things I'm going to talk about. These are the things that I'm going to do. These are the boundaries that I fit into for my business, and then stick within those. And then who cares,
Yeah. Right. What are your like big, recommendations for people that are starting or, hesitate when they do their social media? Cause there's so many of my friends that are like, I just don't have the time. I'm like, you have the time. Like I said, everybody has 1 hour a week to put towards social media. And literally at this point, that's what I do.
Social media, in full disclosure, is probably the least favorite part of my life. And I am in a position now, after celebrating 10 years in business, that I have not been on social media for a year. I went to look at your post,
That's so fun.
but it's something that's always been really challenging for me. But in the same way, I have seen the magic of what it does for a company and a business and a brand. And I believe that it's deeply important, but it gives me anxiety. It stresses me. And so
Why? Is it because it's like information overload, or you feel like it's like, cause you're very well spoken always. And like I said, you've got the podcast, which I think is like, to me, that is what is like, oh my God, that is really hard.
I'm a verbal processor, so I can sit here and talk, and I'm very comfortable in my opinions, and I'm okay if people don't agree with me. I think that there's more than one way to do something well. Um, I think that the scrolling, is the piece. I'm not afraid to put content out there. I'm not afraid to be there. I'm not afraid to speak in front of groups of people. But it's the scrolling and seeing images and um, it just, I felt like it didn't make me as productive, and there were a lot of images that I didn't necessarily want to see.
Yeah.
That
That's
triggered a lot
exciting.
of, especially in the political climate and the things that are going on in the
Oh
world. It was just really challenging for me to see some of those discussions and images and things that were, um, it was just throwing me off course. And so I talked to my therapist about it for a long time, because I said, look, I want to know and be aware of what's going on in the world. But I'm noticing myself not being able to get back to work or be present with my kids or whatever, because the images are so distracting for me.
Yeah.
And so, like, I love looking at your stuff. I love positivity. I love like the creative aspect, but it was just the ongoing scrolling that was really challenging
Yeah.
for me. Um, and so to get back to answer your question of, people that feel like they don't have time, I do a podcast, and that podcast is, 1 hour on Zoom, but this goes into a YouTube video. This goes into Reels. This goes into Pinterest. This goes into a blog post. This goes into an
Yeah.
email. So all of our content, there's quotes that are pulled, there's audiograms, there's stories.
You do an amazing job.
And so all of those pieces takes me 50 minutes of time. And so,
Wow. That's
because my team is doing the rest of the pieces. And so I still have stuff that goes out on social media every single day. And that is
it's
just
awesome. Yeah.
And that's how I work. And the important, I would love to, I admire, I respect the creativity and all of those things, but it's also knowing that's not me. And I have to do what's aligned with my personality. I can admire and respect and value what someone else is doing, but that doesn't mean that I have to go and, put on a leotard and, try and do Britney Spears toxic music
I do
video.
not expect anybody else to do the crazy things like that. Do not try to hula hoop from your sink and your. I do it at my own fruition.
But it is a talent. I mean, it is. It really, and it's fun and inspiring and entertaining and all of those things. So,
and I think that's it in a nutshell. Like what you were saying, like it's authenticity. It's like you're your authentic self, right?
Yes.
Like you are you umpteenth degree, and I'm me to my umpteenth degree. And I think that's when you find that you really excel, right? So like, I feel like everybody is so critical and negative and scared of what people are going to think about them that they don't find their acceleration point, right? It's like, somewhere between being uncomfortable and putting yourself out there, there's going to be a place where you find your sweet spot that makes you, you. And I think that that's where everybody needs to dwell and hover and push themselves further than they normally would have gone if they did not, take a risk or put themselves out there.
I love that. So tell everybody again one more time. Go to the bar.
Go to the bar
one more time.
BAR. Yeah. BARINO Surgical Arts. I would love it if you guys followed me. I follow Danielle. She's awesome. I mean, Aldo Aesthetics is awesome. And I love this podcast. I can't wait to continue to see where it goes, because it's grown even in the short time that I've known you so much. And she's shared with me that they hit what, a million?
We crossed 1 million about 10 months ago.
So now where are you guys? Are you guys at what? Close to 1.5?
Probably closer to 1.5. I'll have to look at my things, but we are.
Wow. That is so impressive because, podcasts, like you said, there's a lot of podcasts out there, especially aesthetic podcasts. And I feel like there are very few that stand out. And I think, obviously the reason why yours stands out is because of the content and because you really pick good partners to do the podcast with. And like I said, I think they're really good topics, most of all. And I think that's your sweet spot, right? Is that you can really pull out really good topics out of people that, that have good things to say.
Thank you for that. Yeah. We listen to our audience, and I think that that's the thing, and we have an incredible email list, and it's those people that are listening to the podcast over, we've built community. We've been consistent with it. We listen to, what are they interested in? What do they want to really focusing on serving them and providing value to them. And I think then they have shown their support, by continuing to listen and show up.
Yeah.
And all
well, you're
that.
a 10 out of 10 in my book, always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys. So be sure to follow Dr. Barbarino. Go check out her posts. Be inspired. Look at how creative she is, and
inspire me. Inspire me to do. Honestly, I am inspired by my followers too. Like there have been so many times that a follower has sent me something, and they said, "Can you do a post about this topic. I'm really interested in it. It's kind of the same thing with you. People, like you said, you listen to your podcast listeners. I listen to my followers, and there's definitely times that people have DM'd me and they're like, what do you think of exosomes? What do you think of this? What do you think of dermaplaning? And I'm like, well, we've got to address it like in a fun, spirited way that's informational and entertaining and fun.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Barbarino. Thank you for those of you listening. I appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next episode. As always, if you want to keep the conversation going, I want you to head on over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, the #1 free resource out there for estheticians focused on business building. We've got weekly marketing tips, a monthly goal setting and planning session, monthly esthetician business book club, plus a community of thousands of estheticians committed to business building in the spa industry. I'll see you there. Quick reminder before you leave, if your spa growth still depends on you doing more, it's time for a shift. Watch The System Shift, a free training designed to help spa owners break past that $25,000 to $35,000 month plateau without adding more treatment hours. You'll learn the CEO level systems that help you scale while protecting your time, your values, and your peace. Go to grow.attoaesthetics.com/podcast and watch The Systems Shift. That's grow.attoaesthetics.com/podcast.